Coach, thanks for joining us. Big series this weekend again in the CCHA against St. Thomas, home and home on the road on Friday at 7:07, and then back here at 6:07 in Mankato. First of all, just kind of take me through. You've been through 10 games now with this team. Are there a couple things that you've been able to pinpoint as far as things that you really like from this group?
They're extremely good people. Their work ethic is commendable nonstop. I like the fact that they're crazy close, and that matters. I think especially when you get in the trench and you get into the bullets are flying. These are hard games, so their stick to itiveness and complementary play of one another. There's just a flat out love for one another that I think is just making a difference with how they take care of, they support one another. The game is the game. The people are exceptional.
You get a chance to go up against another tough goaltending duo in St. Thomas. Sybil, obviously, you've seen before. Trotter, you've seen before. Similar to last week against Bemidji State, but what are the things that the team has to do in order to be patient enough to wait for that goal sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you stick to a plan, and the team that stays on the plan the longest oftentimes wins. So when you've got good goalies, can you not go off script and try to go do something because you're rattled or frustrated that you've been taken off the scoreboard? But the whole piece of traffic is going to be a big piece. Anything you can get after seconds and rebounds will be key. Not that they give up many, but they're when they are, you've got to be on top of them. And then I think you've just got to be a predictable group to each other and give ourselves the best chance to create after puck recoveries and make sure we stay on the offense, because I think there's a side of the game where the puck is very dominant that you got to work hard to make sure you get the puck back.
We're starting to talk about it every week, but Tracy's been a rock back there for you. If you're a player on the team playing in front of Tracy, how much confidence does it give you to know that, hey, if we give up a chance to the outside and he sees it, he's probably going to stop it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a position you don't want to take for granted. We keep working at it daily. Head off to Trace that he doesn't take a moment off. We have to force him to get off the ice and make sure he's not overdoing it. But it's also, I think, a huge credit to the other goalies. And, you got the Eli Pulver, he's dying for an opportunity, and Matty Severson and Andrew Miller, they're all dying for an opportunity. But to that competition breeds success of Trace. And then, from the guys that play in front of Trace, we've been a pretty committed group to make sure we're doing the hard stuff in front of him. And oftentimes, I think a goalie will deflect things to the defending team in front of him and saying they're doing a good job. And there's no question we can look behind us and know that he's done an exceptional job himself.
Open it up to questions here. Kevin Dudley.
Hey Luke, St. Thomas is a team. Obviously, they got a lot of love in the preseason polls. You've got to watch some film against them. I'm sure playing some really good teams so far this year. What are some strengths that they have that stand out to you?
About 12 forwards and 8D, and their goaltenders are exceptional. They get up and go offensively. They make plays in all three zones. You look at the goal types that they scored a week ago, from a empty netter to shorties to power plays to on the attack to, and then at the same time, maybe you got to catch them when they're leaning towards that offense and you're just stiff defensively and you take care of things. But dangerous team that I think if you take your foot off the gas or you start looking around, they can capitalize quickly to their credit. And then their depth. I mean, their depth up front is probably, you talk about that preseason and the polling and where they're ranked and all of those things. They got a lot of guys with a lot of experience. So that group, and they're missing bodies that didn't play last week and that have been mainstays for them. So I'm sure at a healthy clip, it's a really potent team.
In terms of Tracy, Charlie touched on this a little bit, but maybe talk about the hot goalie. I think other players can get hot. You see goal scorers can get hot. I mean, certainly anyone can get hot, but when you have a goalie going like this, is it fun to watch that? Because I really feel like you see like what he did on Friday and Saturday this last weekend, it can really kind of he can really kind of take over a game when he's playing like that, can he?
Yeah, and I think to your point, he gives our team so much belief. Usually, what happens is when a goalie's so good, you feel like you can go for a little bit offensively because if you trip up and make a mistake, that he's got your back. Um, that doesn't always equate to goals, but I think it does with posture on the rink. Just the confidence I think our group have in him, and they watch him, they see him day in day out. He is a mega creature of habit and routine. To his credit, about really working hard at becoming the goalie he is right now, and the best is yet to come. Like that Trace is a winner. Fortunate enough to win with him in the past, and I just know when he's got that look in his eye, like you just get out of the way and let him do his job type thing.
In terms of your schedule now, this is another weekend where you're playing for a second straight conference weekend, one of the top teams, I think. Combining these 2 weekends with your non-conference schedule to have, I mean, this much good hockey, and even before Thanksgiving, do you really feel like this is gonna make your team more battle tested for the second half and what's to come then, playing all these good teams early?
I do. I think, Kevin, the other part of it is just being comfortable, uncomfortable. Be comfortable in a 1-goal game. Be comfortable in a tight game. Be comfortable in a tie game that doesn't need to move the needle until it's time. Those are important. I think there's important growth for a team and maturity. But you know, I don't know. Our conference is tight just out of our familiarity with one another, and the coaches do a great job preparing for each other. The players, the way our league plays is very hard. It's kind of that iron sharpens iron piece every single week. You better be ready because the other group can come out and make a difference. And we've been on a roll of a schedule with there has been no off night. So when we've decided to not be so hot, you felt it. And the other times when we've been on top of our game, I think we've been able to take advantage of it.
Just, I know you've got quite a few guys that are a little banged up right now, but Adam Isley, Caden Bolson, Campbell Psychos, how are those guys doing? Any chance that we see any of those guys this weekend?
I would love to. They're in orange now, so if we can get them out of that color by week's end, it'd be great. I don't know if you see. I don't know if you see Isley back yet. He's got to go through a bunch of protocol on that side of things. Bols is inching back. It's just they got to get some clearance. Finn Williams is still probably a good week away yet. Soupy is going to be him, and Bonk will be in orange. I mean, it's just day to day. I think as the week stretches out, possibly, but you know what? We're kind of getting that next man mentality, next man up, and I think it's served us well, and we're probably preparing more for that than we are to see the guys who have been in the lineup pretty regularly back in. It's a lot of news, though.
Scott Nelson.
Look, I thought special teams played well on Saturday night. You got killed off that 5 minute, and then you also got that 4-on-3 goal. Talk about the special teams play this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, this past weekend, I thought, Bemidji's got a striking ability. I think they're around the net. So the penalty kill side, they score a timely goal. I think that's when your special teams got to be best. The 4-on-3 that we scored was very timely. You don't want to say this in the wrong way, but you get into a 5-minute scenario, you get a power play on Friday with a 5-minute scenario, and the guy that gets dinged and is out is on your power play, takes big face-offs for you. That changes your makeup a little bit in game, maybe a little better prepared for it the next day. But and then this weekend we got to be on our toes. I mean, I'm a reverse chance guy, and St. Thomas got quite a few shorthanded opportunities and chances this past weekend, let alone the power play. So I think both sides of the puck special team will be crucial. And we're talking 1-goal games. Special teams usually is a kind of that swaying vote for ourselves.
You're a team that has some talent on the back end, particularly young talent. Are you the kind of coach that likes defensemen jumping up into the play? What's the gauge on that?
Yeah, I think the game has turned into a 5-man offense. So if they can, we often talk the clock is your coach. Whatever that time is, whatever that score is, will probably give you more indicator than any coach will. So if they can be involved and getting going, we're all for it. If the scenario and the situation says what's not right now, we're learning on that part. We've touched the stove enough, I think, to figure that out. So we're getting better with that, but we definitely want our guys to get up and go. And I think sometimes people equate offensive players or offensive defensemen with points, but that transitional D is so vital now in the game, and the guys have done a pretty good job with that part.
Kevin?
Just one more about Tracy. You've had obviously you've known him for a very long time. How cool has it been to see his growth from the success he's had previously at the junior level to molding into kind of what he's become as a college goaltender, as an upperclassman now in this moment.
It's fun. I mean, I think a lot of the credit goes to the man he is. There he is. He's getting captain votes in the beginning of the year. He's one of the guys you have to basically force off the ice so he doesn't overwork himself. His leadership by example. He doesn't say a lot to the guys, but when he does, it's really, really important that we're on top of it. And I think the other big, Tracy just got away. Like, he's got a resilience to himself that he wants to dig in and keep going. And heck, he's a Bears fan, so he's a really resilient guy.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Appreciate the time. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.